Here's a tour of the chicken run added to the chicken coop. There's the chicken coop. Here's the old chicken run. There's a building behind the chicken run. The building isn't part of the chicken run. There's an old chicken coop. That was our first chicken coop. Bought that with the initial chickens a few years ago. Didn't work very good. And then we started building this old chicken run out of bits of this and that. First we made it 4 feet high, but the chickens started going over the top. Then we added the 3 feet by strapping these sticks into the top of the post. And then we added a 3-foot piece of fence on top, making it 7 feet. But it's not very secure. We had hawks coming in from the top, so we added netting on the top. You can see the netting. It's plastic. Works pretty good. But there's little holes here and there, and predators still find their way in. The raccoons were able to crawl through the gaps between the netting or around the tree or from the edge and get in. So now we build a secure chicken run on the back. You can see it even has some chickens in it. We'll be quiet. So the chicken run was built with 2x4s and other lumber. Anyway, it was set right on top of the ground. So I just set 2x4s on top of the ground, 3 of the 2x4s end to end. That's 24 feet long. And then on the end, a 12-foot 2x4 for the width. And then 3 more, that's the 12-foot 2x4. 3 more 2x4s back to the chicken coop. Tried to make it as straight as possible. Then I took a bunch of 8-foot 2x4s and made the verticals and propped them up. And then what I did is cut the first one even with where I wanted it to be, and then cut the rest level with it all the way around. So the top is more or less level all the way around, as long as, and that middle rail is also level, but the bottom follows the ground. So once we get the 2x4s up, we put 2x6s across. Maybe I'll go inside and show you that. So the 2x4 verticals, like this one. Oh, and then wherever there was a joint where 2 2x4s meet, end to end, I used a 2x6 vertical, so that I'd have more room to connect it. And then the top, I put 2x4s across there. Then I put joist hangers and 2x6s across, because all it's holding is the screen. and a foot or two of snow at times, maybe. And then I noticed the 2x6s going across were warping because they're pressure treated lumber. They were wet when we bought them. So then I bought little 2x4 joist hangers and ran 2x4s every 4 feet to stabilize the 2x6s so that they're straight. Now, so once I was done with that, then what I did is I got 2x3s, that's the smaller board here, and sandwiched the hardware cloth in between 2x3s. That's why that looks like it's 6 inches high, because it's a 2x4 and then a 2x3 below it. And the 2x3s are just sandwiching the hardware cloth, and then they're screwed to each other. Nothing holding those to the 2x4. And did the same thing for the base all the way around, and then halfway up, or the hardware cloth is 4 feet wide, so where the 4-foot hardware cloth ended, I put the 2x3s all the way around. And the reason these are at different heights is because I had a 2x6 running across there, so this hardware screen started a little bit lower than the hardware screen on the sides. Here's this view. Couple of corner cross members, whatever, diagonals, to try to give a little bit of lateral strength. Then the 1/2x1/2 19 gauge hardware screen all the way around. Everything screwed together. Now over here you can see there's some stone up against the chicken coop, and chickens like to dig at that stuff, so I put hardware screen, hardware cloth they call it, on top of the stones so the chickens won't dig all that out. And then the little red door is a run chicken automatic door. It opens at dawn and closes at dusk, and it can be programmed. And we have an exhaust fan on a thermostat to try to keep the chicken coop fresh and cooler. Windows are secure in case there's a predator. And then we have a Ring outdoor spotlight camera set up so we can look in here from in the house or on the road. I think I kind of covered everything. The door, you can't really show because everything's covered, but at first I did buy a kit to make a gate, but it didn't work. So then what I did is I bought a pocket jig tool. I'll look up the brand, and what that allows is to drill these diagonal holes. They end about here, then you drive a screw in so that you can have these joints tightly in every corner. So there's 2 of those drilled holes going at angles, and then 2 screws going into the other 2x4. I really love that thing. Pretty much did a lot of sandwiching of the hardware cloth to make it strong so the raccoons wouldn't get in. We did have a raccoon problem and lost a bunch of chickens a couple of times, and we've also had dog problems and hawk problems. Doesn't look like we'll have any more of those kinds of problems. Also, I put the skirt along here, hardware cloth stapled into the base, and then 2 foot wide with some landscaping staples holding it down. Maybe we'll put dirt on top. Not sure yet. I plan to put hardware cloth all the way around the base of the chicken coop so things don't dig under there. Oh, and we bought some like camouflage tarps with holes in them, made out of thin nylon, and put them up to sort of shield the chickens from the harsh sun in the morning and early afternoon. Not sure how long that'll last. One of the real problems was stapling the hardware screen to the roof. Hopefully you can see it from here. At first, I can show you that. At first I had a little bit of trouble, and I don't know if you can see it, but a lot of excess at the end. I tried to stretch it best I could. It was pretty good, but we ended up with some excess, and then it makes it nasty looking. I'm not sure how the camera's picking that up. By the time I got to the end, I had kind of perfected a system by starting by just putting the screen on the roof all the way across, 4 nails, 1 on each corner. Try to pull as much as I could and nail them in so that they would hold things, and then try to make it as tight as possible, and then just staple along the sides and whatnot. So that worked fine. The other drama was, it was pretty easy, like, to go up here on a ladder and nail or staple down this edge for that section. But then when you staple down this edge for the second section, now this edge you can't reach. You have to get up on the roof. So that's not a big problem. It's not very high. The problem is, what do you stand on? So I ended up getting a couple of 2x4s, 10-foot 2x4s, laying them across, and just walking on those and walking along and stapling down the other seam. Seemed like a big drama at first, but it turned out to work pretty easy. Then also that Ring camera is solar powered, so it recharges itself. We are kind of out in the wilderness, well, in the cornfields, so a lot of predators do come around. Yeah, we lost quite a few chickens while they were staying in this section. Plus, as you might notice, it was kind of hard to keep that netting in place. We've had to repair it a number of times. We had these sticks all over the place holding the netting up. We're planning to disassemble this part, even though it is nice with the plants and everything, but clean this area up and maybe get some grass established. This little panel on the front of the chicken coop is where the door used to be. In the inside of the coop, there's the fan, power for the lights, and then it's kind of dark in here. The another camera in here. One's a Eufy camera. There's no fees for that one. Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi reaches out here. That way we can look in the chicken coop. A bit of infrared at night so we can see the chickens in the dark. Yeah, this area was pretty hacky, and we did have a lot of places where animals could come through. You can see here, it's been a bit of digging. We lost a rooster that was staying temporarily in this house. Then we had raccoons that got into this house. So we had some chicks that were living in that doghouse attached to the second chicken coop, and we put a hardware screen door up. It can't be opened to keep them safe, so nobody get to them.